It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so we're going to discuss that man right there on the screen, 140-pound contender. Often overlooked, but, he's been a vet in the game for a while. He's been a professional now for well over 10 years. He's 29 fights deep into his career, still remains unbeaten. And we're going to talk about El Monte's very own Arnold Barboza Jr. Yes, last night, Arnold Barboza Jr. fought on the undercard of Virgil Ortiz versus Frederick Lawson, and he scored a good victory. It was an 8-round beatdown, systematic beatdown of Zolani Ndengeni from South Africa. Not no great fighter or nothing like that, but a fighter that nonetheless is a veteran himself, has over 30 fights. Ndengeni is also the only man to take Ernesto Tito Mercado the distance, which I think is a good feather in his cap, because Ernesto Tito Mercado is one of the most destructive power-punching fighters at 140. So the fact that Barboza beat this guy to a pulp and got the doctors to stop the fight in the 8th round, it's a good look for him, right? So he wins the fight, and it was his Golden Boy debut. And Arnold Barboza Jr., look, he couldn't get the fight. He couldn't get those big fights to really show the world who he was when he was with Top Rank. He's now went ahead and went to Golden Boy Promotions. He has faith that Oscar De La Hoya is going to deliver him the big fights. And there's no shortage of big fights for Arnold Barboza Jr. Now, we know that Jose Ramirez recently went to Golden Boy as well. I believe both of them have the same manager, Rick Mariga. I could be wrong. Maybe Arnold's not managed by him no more. But that's a fight I think they should explore. And Arnold, apart from Jose Ramirez, right? Arnold, he was running down on everybody last night. He was running down on Teofimo Lopez. He was running down on Rolly Amiro. He wants those fights, and he's been calling for those fights for a long time. Top Rank couldn't deliver him those fights. But Arnold had to say this about the potential for a Rolly Amiro and Teofimo Lopez fight. He stated the following, and I quote, "I bumped into Rolly and Teo at my fight, and both said they're scared to fight me. I'm 29-0 for a reason." So Arnold Barboza talking tough, Arnold Barboza talking heavy. And look, the way it stands right now, Arnold Barboza Jr., whether you like it or not, he is a factor in the 140 division because he's the number 6 ranked WBC contender. He's the number 13th ranked IBF contender. And, he's 29-0. And my thing is this, like, Arnold Barboza Jr. is a bit of an enigma because he's a guy that when I watch him fight, I'll be honest, I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat and be diplomatic with this one. I don't get excited to watch Arnold Barboza Jr. fight. He's a good fighter, but, like, he doesn't really do anything great. Like, he does a lot of things very well. I think he's a very well-rounded fighter, but, like, he ain't the fastest guy in the world. He don't punch the hardest, or anything like that. But he's a well-rounded fighter, right? And I think a lot of times he lacks the stoppages and the performances to really put him over. But when you look at when you check under the hood and you really look at this man's resume, and you study it year by year, piece by piece, there's some substance on that resume for Arnold Barboza Jr. And you could start as early as, late 2020 when he fought Alex Saucedo. He was the last guy to fight and defeat Alex Saucedo. He actually wound up retiring Alex Saucedo and beat him, right? So he beat him. He beat Antonio Moran, who's also went on to, apart from the Devin Haney fight when he got knocked out, Moran's been able to rebound his career very nicely since the Devin Haney fight and the Barboza fight. So he's a good fighter there. He beat Danielito Zarilla, I think, in easier fashion than Regis Prograis did. He has a win over Jose Pedraza. He's the first man, or he stopped Zolani Ndengeni, which Ernesto Tito Mercado couldn't do. So there is good wins on the resume of Arnold Barboza Jr. And my thing is this, I kind of see Arnold Barboza Jr. in a sense, he kind of has a similar career to Giovanni Santillan. Because Giovanni Santillan had more than 29. He had like 30-something fights before he got his big fight with Alexis Rocha and really show what he can do. So it may be a case for Barboza where maybe he is better than people believe he is, but maybe he has to get those big fights against better opposition to really show you what he could do. Because most of his fights, and this is why I'll give him some credit, I get bored watching him fight sometimes because, when he fights the Ndengenis and these kind of fighters, he's levels above them. And, he wins these fights handily. And so I think if you're going 29-0 and you're maintaining a ranking position for year after year after year, which he has, he's been a ranked fighter for about 3-4 years now. We're going on damn near half a decade of Arnold Barboza Jr. being ranked. I'm not biased. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm some sort of Arnold Barboza Jr. fanboy, but I'm fair. I think he should get a shot at somebody who has a big name. So when you look at the potential fights at 140, I mean, look, when you look at number 6, he's number 6 in the WBC. He's literally sandwiched in between Ryan Garcia and Jose Ramirez. So look, you got Ryan Garcia at 7. You got Jose Ramirez ranked above him just at 5. Either one of those fights, they're both Golden Boy fighters. Either one of those fights will be satisfactory and they will suffice. So I like those fights for Barbosa. Those would both be unique opportunities for him to show what he could do against world-class opposition, big names. If you look a little bit further up, you got Jack Catterall at 4, the uncrowned 140-pound champion. That's a good fight for him. You got Richardson Hitchens, who has one of the best jabs in the division. That'd be a fight to show what he could do. You got Gary Antoine Russell, who's a PBC fighter, but he's not really doing much. So I would like to see maybe Barbosa, if possible, get that shot. And then you got Sandor Martin at 1-1. Sandor Martin, one of the most tried and true, proven 140-pounders in the division. Beat Mikey Garcia as an underdog. A lot of people thought he beat Teofimo Lopez, gave him a great fight. So there's so many opponents out there for Barbosa Jr., and I just think that, 2024, after all the years that he's been sat in the rankings, not being able to really push his career to the level he probably want, I think it's time for him to get his shot, to get his shine, because, he has been stalled. He has been not afforded those opportunities to fight the top guys. And even though he hasn't necessarily lit the world on fire with his performances, he's got a good CV. He's got a good resume. He's beaten some real names in the division, good fighters. And the only thing he's lacking is really that signature fight. So it's all well and good for me and boxing fans to downplay Arnold Barboza Jr. because he only has 11 knockouts, 29 fights. And maybe sometimes he isn't the most exciting fighter in the world. But he's doing what he needs to do. He's doing his job, and he's right in position to fight those top guys. So I don't care if it's Rolly. I don't care if it's Subriel Matias, Teofimo Lopez, Regis Prograis, Richardson Hitchens, Jose Ramirez, Ryan Garcia. Line them up, and let's give the fighting pride of El Monte, California, his chance to show what he could do at that top world-class level. Because, when you watch the fight last night against Ndengeni, you saw from Barbosa a real tight guard. He's a hard guy to penetrate his defense. He's got a very accurate right hand. Can place those shots to the body very nicely and systematically break you down. I think it's just going to take maybe a better opponent to bring out the best in him. He's just one of them guys that fights up and down to the level of his competition. So hopefully bigger fights ahead for him. And hopefully Oscar De La Hoya can do for him what Top Rank and Bob Arum could and deliver those big fights for him in 2024. So, yeah. Let me know what you guys think. Who do you want to see Arnold Barboza Jr. fight next? And how do you think he fares against some of the elite names in the 140 division? What kind of chance do you give him? Leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just a kid from Dania. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this video, click right here and make sure you subscribe. Much love from sunny South Florida.